everybody, to Playback. My name is Brandon.
My name is Nate.
This is the show where two music producers take turns choosing albums to talk about and discuss and get into. And Nate, it was your pick this time around. Nate picked What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis.
That's right.
Oasis. Nate, qu'est-ce que c'est? What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis, and why did you pick this album?
So, What's the Story, Morning Glory is the second album by very, very famous, according to them, biggest band in the world, greatest band in the world, Manchester's own Oasis. We'll hash that out today. I think we'll figure out
that.
We'll figure out how true that is or isn't. I don't know. Okay. I will say I came into this totally not understanding the sentiment that they have about themselves when it comes to that kind of thing, and now I'm like, oh, I totally get it. I see. I picked this. Let's be real, for algorithm purposes. They're huge right now. Not really. That's not really why I picked it, but they're huge right now. They're on their comeback. They're at their reunion tour right now. So I figured, why not? It was a better time. There's no better time than now to talk about them while they're kind of, I think a lot of people are revisiting the Oasis catalog and returning to this band.
It's totally Oasis season right now. They're on top. Oasis so hot right now. This is a very, very timely pick.
I don't know. I really wanted to go see them on this current tour. I'm really bummed I didn't get to. But you got to work in your capacities as a backstage person. You got to work the Rose Bowl gig they just played in LA.
Yes, I got to see them twice.
Dang.
Yeah, I know.
On your birthday, right? Wasn't it on your birthday too?
Yeah, the first show. Yeah, so they played at the Rose Bowl here in LA as part of this gigantic, freaking massive reunion tour. And they played, right, the first night at the Rose Bowl was my birthday.
Wow.
And yes, I was there working. I was working on the audio crew at the Rose Bowl, like the house audio crew at the Rose Bowl. Patrons will have seen a little snippet, a little video clip that I took from way up in the broadcast booth. It was cool because where I was watching the majority of the show from was like up in the broadcast tower. So like overlooking the entire stadium. Like I had like the highest elevation that you could possibly be seeing the show from. And it was pretty incredible.
Wow.
And it felt kind of, bittersweet because I have never in a day of my life cared about Oasis at all before this happened. And I know you really, really wanted to be there and wanted to get a ticket. And
so, yeah, I did. I don't know why. I think I was texting you that night because, it's because your birthday. That's why I was saying happy birthday to you. I was like, why on earth was I trying to talk to you? I don't remember what that was about, but
it might have been it.
Yeah, but it was your birthday. I was saying happy birthday to you, and you were telling me about the show. And yeah, I really wanted to go see them on this tour because, look, I've never been like an Oasis guy ever. I have a lot of really close friends of mine who've always sweared by them, kind of extolled them as, one of the greatest bands ever, blah, blah, blah. I just never got it. I never had an Oasis top moment, like, a phase. I never went through an Oasis phase or anything. So I didn't get it. And then I started seeing clips on Instagram of this current tour, and I was like, whoa, this is a rock and roll band. I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. Like,
yeah.
And the clips from their tour sounded so good. I've never even listened to one of their albums all the way through. I just was like, I want to go see this band. This band sounds so fucking good. I'm in. Like, I'm in. I don't even care what their records sound like. I'd actually prefer if my first kind of experience, like checking them out, was like at a live show. I actually really like doing that.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you, Is that something that you normally do? Go to see a band without being familiar with their music? Okay.
I actually really enjoy kind of getting into bands that way. Like if I know a band's coming through town or something, especially if it's like a smaller band, it's not a hard ticket to get, like Oasis or something. And it's like, oh, check out this record. Oh, also they're playing, at a club this weekend. It's like, well, hang on, I'm gonna go watch them play, and then I'll dig into their records. So yeah, I do love doing that. But so yeah, obviously I wanted to pick this album because they're very current right now. They're having their moment right now, which is really cool, and it's fun time to explore this. But also, I figured it would be a fun opportunity for one of us to finally pick an album that neither of us have ever heard before.
Yeah, neither one of us is familiar. Right. And this is an idea that we've been kicking around and talking about, that this would be great to do for the show.
Yeah. We'll see.
Pick an album that neither one of us is super. What?
I said, we'll see.
We're about to find out.
Idea that is.
We're about to find out.
Yeah. We haven't done first impressions in a while, it feels like, or at least super intentionally. And today I really do want to get, like, what was your first impression of this?
So it's really interesting because like yourself at these shows that you like to go to, my true first impression of it was being there at those concerts.
Nice.
Right? Because I think they played 8 of the songs off of this record.
I'm sure.
In their set list, right? There's only a few. And we'll get to it when we get to the very end, favorite best. My favorite song is one of the very few that they did not play. So one of the first impressions that I had of Oasis and the songs from this album is how kind of like cohesive, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but like kind of how narrow the boundaries are of Oasis's sound and how consistent the sound is across pretty much all their songs, right?
Yeah.
I think this is such a big difference from the last album, the last band that we were talking about, Ween, the Mollusk, right? Where like song by song is a completely different like personality
planet,
a totally different planet.
Yeah.
And on this album, it really stood out to me that like this is the other side of that coin. It's like every song is so clearly coming from the same personality. There's like maybe there's at most like 2. Right? There's the electric Noel and the acoustic Noel.
Yeah.
And like, at most, that's what you got. And even that, they feel very cohesive between those two.
They very oftentimes overlap. Like the acoustic songs often almost every time go electric, right? Like within the same song. Like, so you're kind of always getting both of those flavors. But I mean, yeah, you speak to the cohesion of it, and it's all the lyrics, all the songs were written by one guy, and he also produced it. He at least co-produced the whole thing too.
And that is something that I never knew about Oasis, right? So I always knew that they were, like I said before, I've never been an Oasis fan. I never had an Oasis moment, but they are so popular and so famous that you can't help but live in this world and know something about them, which is, okay, I knew they're brothers, I knew the 2 main guys, and I knew that they fight and they don't like each other and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you just sort of always assume that it's like a collaborative thing, especially when you see the public argument between the 2 of them. They seem to, like I have consumed more of their public fighting than I have of their music.
Totally. Same.
Yeah. So, and just the way that they fight in public makes it feel like they exert equal amounts of ownership over the band. So you just sort of assume that it's a creative, that they both own it creatively. You know what I mean? But it was very surprising. Just like I was super surprised when we did our episode on the Strokes to learn that Julian Casablancas wrote all of it, and it was the same surprise. I did not know Noel Gallagher wrote all of this shit.
Yeah. The Strokes is kind of like, what if you took the talent of Noel and you put it in Liam's body, and then he ran the band, right? And that was one person. But in this band, we have more of like it's kind of more like the relationship in like Alice in Chains, where it's like you have a guitar player who writes and sings, but you also have a guy who is just there because to sing lead and be the lead singer because he has a great voice and he's cool as fuck. Like that is the most that is literally Liam's job in the band.
Just be so fucking cool.
Is to be the coolest fucking guy on earth. By being the lead singer of Oasis. Like, I don't know. I was like really floored by. I kind of always assumed they were both a lot like Liam. Like they both were just like taking the piss and being that fucking Manchester like. Kind of like fuck off, wah, 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 like these kind of British like fucking guys you kind of think of, right? These like hooligan type, football-y kind of guys. And they are, but Noel is much more of like an introvert. He's a little more considered with what he says and does. I think that side of him comes out when he has to respond to Liam, who is his brother.
Exactly. He clearly does a lot of work to exist in contrast to that hooligan type of behavior of Liam. But at the same time, he is equally as capable of coming at you with a fuck you and a fuck off and a go fuck yourself as Liam is. Right?
They're both still brothers after all at the end of the day. Like, so they both have that.
He still does go on the offensive when not prompted and like say something that is obviously going to start a fight right now, He also, to an equal degree.
I'm always fascinated with siblings or people who are related who make music together, like Beach Boys or Louvin Brothers or fucking, there's a million examples, right? The Jacksons, like, it's always so interesting because
Bee Gees, baby.
Bee Gees, sure. Like, it's always so interesting to me because, like, in what way are they going to complete each other? Oftentimes, it is like their vocals are so tight and so perfectly harmonious together that it just sounds like one voice, right? This band, that's not what this is. That is not the way the like blood harmony, the siblings like complete each other. The way they complete each other is, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Okay. So like what you have like two sides of the same rock star coin, right? You have the introvert, the soft, the kind of emotional singer-songwriter guy. And then on the flip side to that, you have the guy who's just pure Mick Jagger, rock and roll, fuck you, rock and roll energy, hype, and he's handsome and he has an amazing voice, right? But it's like that handsome guy with the amazing voice can't write for shit. And the other guy, he sings, but he's not nearly as good of a singer or has as compelling of a voice as Liam. So it's interesting. Like together, they make the perfect rock star. Like they have everything you would want out of your fucking amazing rock star, right? But separately, I really don't know if this band would have ever worked if they didn't do this together. Like look at their separate solo projects ever since. It's like nobody really gives a shit about their solo shit,
Yeah, that's true. I had never heard of either one of them just in the researching for this episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? BDI and
Gallagher's Flying Birds, and then I forget the other one. I forget
Noel
Liam's
Gallagher's
thing.
Flying Birds, and then basically all the rest of Oasis without Noel was called BDI.
Interesting. Yeah.
See, so, we've come this far and you didn't even know that.
Didn't even know that.
See, that's how influential they are. There you go.
You have one guy who's all style, and it's so much style that he's just one of the coolest rock stars I think who's ever lived. But he's all style, right? And then you have his brother. It's the complete opposite. He's all substance.
There's an EP. It officially lives as an Oasis EP. It's called Wibbling Rivalry, which is like some British ass play on words that I don't fully understand.
Uh-huh.
And it's an excerpt from a interview with a journalist that they had before What's the Story Morning Glory even came out. So it was after their first album. And as they're being interviewed, they just get in this fucking argument and just go, and it just like it is the perfect portrayal of it. You just listen to it and you understand, you get the picture of their situation, you know? So essentially what they're arguing about is that like a couple weeks before this interview, Liam had started some commotion on a boat in Amsterdam while they were on tour, and got him and the whole rest of the band arrested and deported from Holland.
It was like a casino boat. It was like a casino boat, and he ran through the tables, and he just swept all the chips and everything off all the tables, and they got arrested and deported. It's like the most insane bullshit.
So all of them got arrested and deported except for Noel, because Noel wasn't there hanging out with them, but all the rest of the band was. So they couldn't continue the rest of their tour dates in Holland. And Noel regarded that as extremely unprofessional.
Right.
And he could not abide. He's trying to be the consummate professional. And so that's what is prompting the argument in this recording.
It's so good.
And for this extended period of time, they're arguing about what makes a rock star. And Noel is accusing Liam of like, you think that just running, making bullshit happen and throwing furniture out of hotel rooms like you're fucking Keith Richards, that's what makes you a rock star. And Noel just keeps going, it's music, music, the music, it's the music, music, it's the fucking music. Fuck you, shut up, music, music, over and over and over.
You know, though, Liam has a great counterpoint to that. I've heard him say, oh yeah, Noel seems to think the only thing that matters is that we have like great songs. And he's like, you know what? If I go to a show and all they have is great songs and no attitude and they're not fun and they're not like living that like fun rock star life, then like sounds like a pretty fucking boring band. You're kind of right, dude. Like, I'm sorry.
They have it. They have what great movies have, what great novels have, what great bands have, is that thing when they're both right.
They are.
When the protagonist and the antagonist, it's like, well, which one of them is right? And it's like,
depends on your perspective.
That's the whole thing about this story and why it encapsulates the way that real life really feels and really is. It's like they're both right. And it's interesting to me how early in their career they're already at that point. You know, like those kinds of feuds and rivalries and arguments and bad blood, that is normally something that you see in a band like several albums into their career.
But this didn't just start at that point for them. They're brothers. So this started for them when they were 8.
There's a quote by Noel. It says, I liked my mom until she gave birth to Liam.
Yeah. That's the main reason I've even sort of kept up with them my whole life, is because they're typically, the public feuding that they do is so fucking funny. It like belly laughter sometimes, like when you hear these two and like what they say to each other. But
the potato tweets, are you familiar with that? So one day out of nowhere, Liam, this is while they were broken up, like in the midst of their 16-year long period of being broken up, and as far as people know, never touring together again, that they just came out of.
Right.
In the middle of that, Liam just tweets like a cropped, zoomed in photo of Noel's face, just, you know, really in a very like unflattering camera angle, you know, and just with the word potato. Which restarted this whole back and forth thing involving Liam calling Noel repeatedly calling him a potato.
Yeah, like
it's so entertaining.
I feel for Noel because like Liam is like the ultimate final boss little brother. Like he's like the little brother from hell that you like picture. He's so like rambunctious and so carefree, and he's such an asshole. Like
Yes.
I don't know. I get why they broke up. I do. Like I don't know. You and me both have brothers, and it's like, man, I
How
get
many
it.
bands are you and I in with our brothers?
0 bands.
0 bands.
Guess how many bands, even between Brandon and I, we want to be in with our brothers?
Yeah.
0. No, thank you.
Yeah. I know. Like, imagine.
No.
Can you imagine, like,
No.
being in a multi-million-dollar enterprise, creative, your band, your one and only band with your brothers?
Because it's like, on one hand, it's like, okay, that's so cool. He's my brother. I love my brother. That's so cool. I can do something so big and monumental with my brother. But on the other hand, it's like, I fucking hate this guy. Like, I can't fucking do this. No fucking way. You know, like, it's like, you know each other too well. It's like, and it's like, you know, you can say that about your brother. Obviously, I don't hate any of my brothers, but it's like, man, like, brothers, like, me and my brothers, at least, we all know how to get under each other's skin in the most penetrating, awful way. Like, I know exactly how to like ruin my brother's days, and they know how to do that to me, and they've done that to me, and I've done that to them. And it is like, it's like almost evil, like the amount of like intimacy you share with someone like that, because you know that you're so vulnerable to the most like vicious kind of attacks that will really tear you apart, right?
They can do more damage than anybody can.
With like a look. They can look at you and you'll ruin your day. Like, you know.
And that's why this is so fascinating, because like there's so many brother and sibling partnerships in music and in other art forms and businesses and stuff like that, where it's very clearly those brothers don't have this dynamic that exists, you know, between our brothers and the Gallagher brothers. But there's something unique about these guys, like situation. I don't even know what the word for it is. There's something unique about their psychosis, which is that toxic kind, except it has the ingredient that they will actually do it.
Right.
They will fucking work together for like decades at a time.
Right.
For some reason.
Yeah.
And just keep doing it every day. And they don't get along.
Yeah.
They don't do it by having long periods of peace and harmony between them. No. Like, they just sustain the terribleness.
I think the tension between them is like a major fuel source for the band. Like, I think that's part of it. That's just part of what makes them fun and exciting, is like, you just never fucking know like when the wheels are going to come off. I think that's probably what's exciting about seeing them live. Or at least was about seeing them live back in the day. I really hope that they don't keep feuding. I hope they play together forever from now on.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope so too, man, because it was very beautiful, and like you could really feel it like in the stadium. It was fascinating to see them and be there in the stadium as like sort of an outsider, as a person who kind of doesn't really, you know, because I was there before you picked this album for us to listen to, right? So that's an important thing to note. I hadn't already started this process of listening for this episode. So I didn't know a goddamn thing. I didn't care about Oasis at all.
Right.
But the stadium obviously is full of like however many, like 80,000 people or something. And the tickets are so expensive.
$600 is what I saw. That was the cheapest one I could find that I thought I would actually get was $600.
Yeah. So there was like a built-in gatekeeping of like, you gotta love this.
Yeah.
This has to mean something to you in order to be there. And it was very striking to me. Like, you could just feel it in the air that like the fact that this is happening was like an almost religious experience for the people in the crowd.
I bet.
You know? And I believe that they felt it too.
Yeah.
I think they understood and that how much this means to people. And you could sort of feel like this feeling of them like rising above their feelings between each other and kind of like being cool to participate in something that's bigger than the two of them, you know, and like kind of lay it to the side.
I think for a certain type of fan, this is the only band I could compare this to happening is like, this would be like the equivalent of like Nirvana getting back together or something. Like if that was possible, like that is how big of a deal it is. That's how I can understand this. And
because that's how deep Oasis fans are with Oasis is like how deep Nirvana fans are.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can say, like, when I picked this album kind of as an experiment, and I'll say my first impression now, which was, I didn't get it. Like, I listened to the whole album and was like, I don't know about this. Like,
really?
I really kind of, I didn't think that I made a mistake. I'm glad, I was still glad I picked it at that point, but I kind of was like, this is just not for me. Like, I don't think I like this very much.
Oh, this is so good. I'm so glad that we're getting some variety on this podcast finally, rather than just fawning over everything.
Yeah, that was my first impression. My impression has involved, like, as I've listened to it more, that feeling has evolved into something different, which I think we'll get into. But yeah, I started off kind of, I was a definitely maybe on this one. I was.
This album came out when I was like 9 years old, and they continued to be the freaking one of the biggest bands on the face of the planet as I became a teenager and everything. You know, like I remember other kids really liking them and everything. But my understanding of them is they are possibly the biggest flag bearer in America of British music.
Of British music or Britpop? You think all British music?
From our generation.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Obviously, it's the Beatles and the Stones that is like
the real answer.
Yeah, that's the real answer, and that's what defines it. And that is how freaking influential and how big of a impact the Beatles and the Stones make is it still has that defining impact on people who were born in the 80s still. And it probably still does now for people who are teenagers right now, I would guess. But for our time, like when you're growing up in the 90s, what defines like Britishness and Englishness is the Spice Girls and Oasis.
And Austin Powers.
Those three things. But I mean, it's relevant to say that though, because the 90s, when we were kids during that time, was there was like this whole cultural movement as a reaction to the American grunge. The stuff that was coming out of Britain was like very positive.
Yeah, it was really different. It's interesting to look at Britpop through the lens of grunge, which is like, it was kind of their scene that was happening parallel to the grunge scene. And there's a lot of overlap in sounds, but overall it's like they're wildly different scenes, despite the fact that they were happening at the same time. They're
totally different. Yeah.
It wasn't like rock and roll in the 60s where it's like you had stuff coming out in England and America at the same time, and they were doing all this cross-pollination where there was so much overlap that like it all feels like one scene, despite it being a continent removed with half of it, you know what I mean, coming out of England. And it's weird because in the 90s, the Britpop thing, despite it being, you know, bands with loud guitars, right? That is the only commonality. Like they're really like so different.
The guitar tone is sort of the only commonality.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that you can attribute to just like the 90s. Like it was the 90s and that's what you did in the 90s. But like,
yeah, because in America, there's Nirvana, there's Smashing Pumpkins, there's, you know, Soundgarden. It's like dark shit. It's a time of like doom and like reveling in the despair, you know?
I've never looked at it through that lens, but you're so right. Britpop makes grunge look so like demonically sad by comparison.
Yes.
Like
I'm telling you, it is a conscious reaction. I'm telling you. They called it Cool Britannia. Think of all the shit that came out in the 90s that had the Union Jack on it.
right, yeah.
Noel's freaking guitar, the Spice Girls dress, Austin Powers.
Yeah,
that's
it was like
part of it, dude.
It was like a pop thing to do.
It is and all of that music. Blur was part of it.
Yep.
All of that music it's overtly British. Like how many British artists are there that from the 70s, the 80s, and even in the 60s that would sing in a way that would sort of disguise their British accent?
Right, not these guys.
Not these guys. Not the Spice Girls, not Oasis, not Blur. Even into the electronic shit, like the Prodigy.
Yeah.
Like that is one of the very closest to the outer edge of what is you're presented with the aesthetic of it is the accent, the local accents, right? The regional accents, which is another whole thing that carries like a socio connotation, even within Britain, you know, like it's one thing to sing with an English accent, and it's another one to sing with a regional one,
like a Manchester.
Exactly.
And also all the connotations that come with being from Manchester. Like I don't know much about the different regions of England, but it's like, to me, it's like you gave like these rowdy football hooligans like $5 million and like sent them out on the road to like play rock and roll. Like, it's
so Manchester, that's another big thing about Oasis's thing is that they're kind of like during this time, they're now the next big band in kind of a quick succession of big bands to blow up out of Manchester. You know, Manchester has one of the more kind of rich musical histories out of the different cities. England is way more of a kind of centered around one big city type of a country than America is, you know, like America is sort of, you got sort of equal musical and artistic power between New York and LA.
Right.
Generally equal. And England, like so many other countries, it's really, really heavily centered around one, which in their case is London. But Manchester has this like really, really rich musical history. You know, you got, from the late 70s and the 80s, that's where like Joy Division and New Order and the Smiths come from.
Right.
And then quickly right after that is the whole Manchester scene, which is really interesting because it's like kind of their own organic and original version of like Woodstock and like the hippie movement that belonged to them. But it's so interesting because it took place in the 90s, not in the 60s, right? So there's this like very similar kind of positive free love and free association and playing around type of a thing that happened there. Big bands involved with that are the biggest one is Happy Mondays.
Okay.
Stone Roses.
Stone Roses, yeah.
Yeah, there is a really good movie, 24-Hour Party People. That's all about this whole scene. One of my favorite punk bands, the Buzzcocks, is from there.
Damn, all these bands are from Manchester, you're saying?
All of them.
Wow.
Yes, and more.
These are all like amazing bands too.
Yeah. And this is like a uniquely very Manchester scene, right? And also too, where Manchester is in the northwest of England. And so and this is all very relevant for Oasis, man, because in the other big city in the northwest is Liverpool.
Right.
And that's where the Mersey beat scene is from the 60s. And from that scene is where the Beatles came from, right? And the Beatles are a tremendous influence on Oasis. And
oh man, you can really hear it.
And there's a massive rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester, but they are very much they share that they're both, brothers and sisters of the Northwest, like
right, and good music cities.
Exactly. And in the context of the whole rest of England and everything, they have like a very sibling culture between them, and musically and everything. Liam and Noel Gallagher are the two most famous Manchester City fans of the soccer team. Okay. Manchester City. And
you're a little bit of a soccer fan as well.
I'm a tremendous
football. Should I say football? Or I don't know.
See, I have such respect for the game, I call it soccer. And why do I call it soccer? Because I'm from fucking America. That's why I call it soccer.
Agree.
Because I grew up, there already is a sport that I refer to as football.
Right.
Now, that being said, I am a tremendous soccer fan. I'm obsessed with soccer.
Okay.
And for 20 years, I've been a huge Liverpool fan. I love Liverpool.
Okay.
And the entire time that I've been a Liverpool fan, I've known one of the other few things that I've known about Noel and Liam Gallagher is they are the world's most famous Manchester City fans. And the only thing that you need to know about Manchester City is that they fucking suck and they're stupid. That's all that you need to know. And here's my chance to rant.
It's the only thing I need to know. All right, I'm filled in.
Fucking bandwagon fans have joined onto Manchester City because Abu Dhabi, the royal family of Abu Dhabi, bought Manchester City in 2008.
Oh, lame. Ew.
They bought the team in 2008 and gave them illegal amounts of money that you're not allowed to give to a sports team.
Wow.
And they became the best team on the planet.
Wow.
And so now, and like at the Rose Bowl shows, you will see, there are so many Manchester City fans. You'll see them by the sky blue, like the light blue shirts that they wear. Because before Abu Dhabi bought them, they were fucking nobody. Noel and Liam Gallagher were like the only famous Manchester City fans because only people who are actually from Manchester are Manchester City fans. Nobody else on the entire planet give a fuck about them. And I'm telling you, if you are Manchester City, if you call yourself Manchester City fan, if you cannot remember a time when Stephen Ireland was your best player, when Richard Dunn and Stephen Ireland were your best players, you are not a Manchester City fan. You can go fuck yourself.
I respect this take. I am not a soccer or football or basketball or any other ball fan except for baseball. So this what you're describing sounds like a very Giants Dodgers situation where Dodgers have all the money, they buy all the players. It's bullshit.
You want to know?
I fucking hate it.
You want to know how annoying this is? Because the real Dodgers Giants. So. Nate is a huge fan of the San Francisco Giants.
Yes.
You want to know how annoying this rivalry really is the real Dodgers Giants rivalry is between Liverpool and Manchester United.
Oh.
So imagine if all of a sudden one day Abu Dhabi bought
like the Angels?
No, bought
like the Padres.
Bought the Padres and gave them amounts of money that break the rules of the MLB that you're not allowed to give to the team. And then the Padres become the best team in baseball. And then now everyone, what they talk about
is Dodgers Padres.
No, is Giants Padres.
Oh, Giants Padres.
I mean, obviously it would be Dodgers Padres because Dodgers are way better than Giants, but then imagine now every time that someone hears that you're a Giants fan, they go, "Oh man, you must hate the Padres, huh?"
Yeah,
and you're like,
"I do, but not because of that, you dipshit." Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
What about the other fucking 100, 200 years before that? Yeah. All right. That's my soccer rant. Thank you. Thank you for indulging me.
I don't think people who listen to our show are aware that you are you're a big soccer fan. So I think that's
rarely
great.
bring it up.
Yeah.
I rarely bring it up.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's one aspect of Oasis. They're Manchester City fans. It's very interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So to bring that, so why that's relevant is like they're coming from this big tradition of like this sequence of really great bands and great music that's coming out of Manchester. The Chemical Brothers are from Manchester. Their Chemical Brothers are interesting because they're both from London, but they both independently when they were young moved to Manchester and met there and started working there just because of how inspired they were by the scene, like what was happening in Manchester and just how creative it was and everything. But I feel that since Oasis, there hasn't been anyone from that city that has like met that bar. The boom sort of happened in the 70s, and I don't think anyone's picked it up yet.
Right.
Yet. To all you kids out there in Manchester, pick up those guitars and go for it.
Interesting to hear that, because I guess I wasn't aware of what a rich musical history Manchester had. Because when you read up on these guys in their early history, it's kind of like it kind of seemed like they all like knew they were going to be famous, and I didn't really understand why. But now, like hearing that, I'm kind of like, well, yeah, because like every band that's ever come out of your city was like fucking awesome. So like, yeah, you probably did kind of think that you probably had a shot, or it's probably seemed like a viable path forward for people if you grew up there. Because like you just said, that you just listed like 10 like unbelievable bands. I thought you were going to list a bunch of bands that like maybe one or two I'd heard of, but it's like those are all fucking fantastic bands. The other really crazy thing about them is just like how rapidly they caught on. Like it was like so fucking fast. Like they went from like playing in like a basement together to like headlining like festivals and shit within a matter of like 6 months, 8 months, like a year. Like it was like really, really, really fast. I found something really interesting because, you know, for Noel, who grew up as a guitar player, it kind of would seem like maybe he would have been the one starting a band, or he would have been the guy that started this. But it was actually, I couldn't believe this when I came across this. Liam had never been interested in music before. Was like not like, I would make fun of kids at school. He must have been like the most awful bully like in ever. Like, but he even says like he used to like make fun of kids that would like bring their guitar to school, and he would like rip on kids that were like in band or whatever. He thought it was like super lame,
like his brother.
Yeah.
Imagine how much he would rip on his brother.
Yeah. And he just was like never into music. He like wasn't even into music until he was like 16 or 17. A kid who didn't like him brought a hammer to school and cracked Liam in the skull with a hammer and cracked his head open. There's blood everywhere.
The fuck?
And while he was on the mend, healing from this, he said he had an epiphany that he needs to start a band and he's going to be the most famous person alive.
What the fuck?
Which is just like, you can't make this shit up. It's so good. And meanwhile, so he literally goes out and starts Oasis. It's even called Oasis without Noel.
He came up with the name.
He found all the band members. He started the whole fucking thing. Noel was, I guess, touring as a guitar tech at this time. And like...
Right. So yeah, Noel at the time was a roadie for another one of the great Manchester bands, in Spiral Carpets.
Yeah, it seems like they were touring all over the UK. Like according to Noel, he said like at the time he felt like this was it. Like I've reached the mountaintop of like the music, like the pinnacle of like my music career. I'm totally content with this. Like
I'm a roadie for my favorite band.
Yeah.
This is all that I want.
He was making good money. Like he was set. And then, his little brother like coaxed him into joining this band, and they pretty quickly caught on. They got signed by Creation Records, who I think they were like a Glasgow label. I forget the guy who was the head of the label, but they had signed like Jesus and Mary Chain. They had signed My Bloody Valentine. So they were kind of like that, like kind of shoegazy thing. They recorded Definitely Maybe first. That was the first record they did. Which I don't know if you have any, did you get to listen to Definitely Maybe at all for this?
I did. I skimmed through it. I didn't listen to each and every last song, but there were some big songs from that I wanted to hear. Yeah. Just for context.
Yeah. Just before we get super deep into our Morning Glory discussion, I mean, I really loved Definitely Maybe. I might even like it more than Morning Glory. It's really tough because I listen to Morning Glory so much more for this than Definitely Maybe. But it really sounds like if I had to describe it, even though Noel is the sole creative force behind all their music.
Yeah.
I like Morning Glory a lot because it has kind of the attitude of Liam. Like it feels more like a Liam thing, even though I know it isn't like in name only probably, or just on the surface it probably just feels that way. Whereas Morning Glory really feels like this big, lush, fleshed out, kind of more indulgent type of an album that is more of like a Noel thing.
Yeah.
Right? It feels more like towards...
Yeah, it's got Wonderwall and Champagne Supernova. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, man, but when I listened to this album, the more time that I spent listening to this album and then also listening to Definitely Maybe as well, it was just like, this is what the 90s felt like. Oh my God. It was like a freaking time machine. Like, wow.
I definitely had the feeling of like, there's this really awesome party happening and I'm really, really, really late to the party.
So what do you have to say about the music itself? So it's interesting to me how you're saying how like at first you were thinking, wow, I might not actually be a huge fan of this.
Yeah, I'll get my criticisms out of the way. Because like I said, I listened to this probably 6 or 7 times. It just took me a minute to be able to get on their wavelength, I think. My takeaway is not that I don't like this, okay? But my initial takeaway was like, oh man, like I don't think I do. I thought it just it's really, really poppy, and I wasn't really expecting that. I wasn't expecting. I think the reason I like Definitely Maybe a little bit more than this is because it's basically them trying to replicate their live show, like the sound of their live show, which I think is like Oasis at its best is Oasis live. I think I've never heard one of their songs live that I didn't like more than anything I've heard on any of their records. And I really like a lot of the stuff on their records. A lot of them are on this album, but I feel like these songs and this band is best when it's in front of a crowd and they're playing the songs fast and loud and like that's what broke through to me when I first started seeing clips of them from this current tour. I was like, whoa. Because I've heard all these songs, you know, I'm familiar with this album. Might as well be a greatest hits album. You know, there's so many good songs on it.
Right. Yeah. This is definitely one of those situations where, man, they're songs that they're known for. They're ones that actually resonated and hit. They are very much collected in this one album. Very much. Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, you know, I'm familiar with these recordings. Never broached the actual barrier of just, okay, now I'm going to put one of the records on, right? But when I heard their clips live, I was like, oh, I should absolutely get into this band. Like, this band fucking rocks. And so, I mean, part of the magic of, I think, Definitely Maybe is that, like, they literally took their live sound engineer. Like, I think they recorded it once and they didn't like it and they had the balls to actually throw all that out. And then they re-recorded it and they went through a couple different mix engineers and they finally just thought, you know what? Our live shows sound so good. Why don't we just get our live sound mix engineer guy who was like a guy that would travel with them.
Which album did they do that with?
Their first album.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so
I've never heard of that happening before. That's
right.
Amazing.
So they just brought him under their wing and just said, you do it. Like,
that's really amazing. Yeah. And it's really, it's a really cool thing to point out. I did not know that. And it's a cool thing to point out for the listeners too, because that seems like
a
natural, no-brainer.
A natural idea, yeah.
Why not do that?
Right.
Why not have the person who mixes your album and the person who mixes your shows be the same person, right? But the reality of the doing of those jobs is, see, in audio engineering, there are like multiple industries within that one umbrella. And the skill set, basically, and the education and just the knowledge base and the competencies and the skills of that it takes to be someone who mixes a studio record very well at a professional level is one thing. And being a person who mixes a live concert very well at a professional level is a whole other set of skills that it takes another freaking 20, 30 years to get that good at, you know? And it's very rare for there to be an engineer that possesses that like top level professional world-class level skills in both of those domains. It's very rare.
It doesn't really happen. You don't really hear of it happening.
There are almost no examples of it.
Yeah, and this one being kind of an interesting one, and it's like it's a very Oasis move, right? I mean, they're just like they have some studio nerd mixing their album, nobody likes it, and they just go, "Why don't we just get our live guy to do it?" Not understanding, not even thinking that like that's kind of a bad idea. Like you shouldn't do that. But it's also like if you don't know what you don't know, it seems like a really natural place to deviate to, right?
Yes.
Like, let's just get that guy. And you know what? He did a great job.
Yeah, I think definitely maybe is mixed better than Morning Glory is.
There's like an energy to that album that is like really exciting and really propulsive. And like I will say, if you're like us and you're not familiar with Oasis, if all you care about is like, you know, the really big songs you've heard of, you can totally start with Morning Glory. But like I think definitely maybe is actually the better starting point.
I would have to recommend starting with Morning Glory only because it is the songs. It's the Wonderwall and the Don't Look Back in Anger and the Champagne Supernova and all that stuff. But I guess I would make that recommendation for myself because that is the only way that I could even give a shit enough to get to like, all right, okay, I guess I'm getting into Oasis today. That's what I'm finally gonna do it. If the music nerd friend had told me, all right, well, dude, okay, so start with this album. It's not the famous one, but start here. You're gonna thank me later. I think I would have gone like, nah, I don't care about knowing Oasis enough.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
It would have to be this one.
Yeah.
But not for technical reasons.
Sure.
Because, you know, like I said, there was a point at which I was doing one of my many listen throughs of this album on my earbuds. I like to mix it up. I like to listen to it in my studio, in my car, in my earbuds, you know, while I'm in the quiet house and also while I'm out shopping and, you know, like give it the real life test.
Sure.
I try to, you know, but there were so many occasions, this happened more than once, where I was like rearranging my earbuds in my head and like, I literally thought that there was something wrong with the Bluetooth connection or something wrong, like something must be clogged in my earbud or something, you know? But there wasn't. It's just the way that it's mixed. Like the drums are so far back.
Yeah.
And the guitars are so fucking far forward.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of those things where like the things are out of phase and what's
Stuff
in
was canceled out.
Yeah, right. What's in the center is canceled out.
Dude,
It's just the way that the fucking album sounds.
I had a similar experience to that while I was listening to this because I had it turned down kind of low while I was driving. And the only thing I could hear was guitars and vocals. That was all you can hear. That's it. You couldn't pick out any drums or any bass or anything else. It like I know that there are other people in this band, but it's kind of like they so are not consequential. and it's like that. It's mixed like that. Like the mix like reflects that. Like the mix like reflects like the hierarchy that like Noel set up is like me, my brother, fucking 20 other guitar overdubs, and then everyone else.
It's like a Metallica, right? It's like And Justice for All. Metallica, right? Like, why are the toms so fucking present? It's like, well, because Lars is the goddamn prima donna,
right?
And like how they like mix the bass all the way back just because they're like, fuck you, you're not Cliff, fuck you, you know. But yeah, I mean, that breaks like a cardinal rule of the way in which popular music is supposed to be presented.
It's not what I would do.
And we're not just talking about pop, we're talking about anything, funk, rock and roll, country, anything. Mm-hmm. So much of the time, the way that it is played back for the public is like in a public space, like in a store or a TV in a commercial or something, and on the car radio. So a lot of times it's coming through small speakers. And a lot of times, wherever you're standing, it's being played at a relatively low volume to where you're at, right? And so the final masters and the final mixes of albums take this into consideration, and the 99.9% of all professionally released music has the lead voice, whether that's the lead vocal or, if it's like Chuck Mangione, your little horn that's doing like the muzak, the lead whatever is right there, and the fucking snare drum is right there, because of all of our Western, American, and British music is based around the backbeat where the snare drum is.
You want to feel the pulse of the song.
Right. You got to bop along to the melody that you can hear. Those are the two. Those are the two things that you need. Everything else, if it's gone, that's okay. You can still consume the song. And this album, like, it breaks that.
It does, yeah.
You can't fucking hear the drums, dude.
Yeah, the drum and the bass is like gone. Like
the bass is gone.
It's just not there. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a wash of guitars.
And it's the strength of Definitely Maybe for me is that it sounds like their live show, right? It sounds like the drums are there, the band is there, the band is there, right?
Yeah.
And this, despite the fact that I think I love the production, like I love a lot of the choices of production. I think you're right about the mix, which is different. The mix is weird, although it works. Like, I mean, didn't not work. It works for everybody who's ever heard it, right? It's
exactly.
18 times platinum, I guess.
Exactly. It's one of the highest selling fucking records in human history.
Yeah.
So
me and Brandon can eat shit, but
no, it comes down to something that I took away from those live shows at the Rose Bowl, which is, if there's one word that I would ascribe to my whole experience of Oasis through these last few weeks of us diving into them, it's the word undeniable. And the fact that it's mixed so in a way that you're not supposed to mix something, and yet it sells 18 times platinum, is a case in point of the undeniableness of Liam and Noel, dude.
And the songs.
And the fucking songs.
Yeah.
And it was like that at the shows at the Rose Bowl. I was there. I didn't care about Oasis. I was like, what are all these goddamn songs sound the same? Like it's just, oh, here's the next one. Dang, 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 dang. Oh, here's the next one. Dang, 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 dang.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here's another song. Dang, 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 dang. But like, it was the fucking charisma.
Yeah.
And the energy. There's just something that transcends like the specific things that I want to hear and the specific things that I want to nitpick. And just the feeling, the energy was just like, I was literally standing there. I was like, this is exactly the kind of a band that I wanted to be in when I was a boy.
Totally,
where you just
man.
fucking get up, you just rock.
Totally.
They don't even move on the stage, dude. Liam moves around a bit, and I'll get more into the way that Liam moves on stage later, because that's a whole freaking thing to talk about. But on this tour, they have 3 guitarists, a bass player, and a drummer. And the people who are in the band, the people who aren't Liam, they don't fucking do anything.
Right.
They just fucking stand there and play.
Right.
And the whole stadium can't get enough of it.
It's the songs.
It's so cool. And just the fact that they're just strumming along with these songs, with these chords, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
And it gets it over that hurdle. And it's almost sort of a thing where maybe even that it has that hurdle to get bulldozed is part of the effect. You know, like that this album isn't mixed like a normal, like every other album that I've heard. It doesn't follow all the same rules. And so like it has a pane of glass to break through. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like kind of makes it fun. Right. That might be something. I don't know.
It's a weird mix, but it's cool production though. Like I think there's really cool, like one of my favorite things about this band is like, I mean, is the way they wear all their influences like on their sleeve. Like they are so as open as you could possibly be as a band, fans of the Beatles.
Yes.
like and not just the Beatles. Like Roll With It. Like if that just was a Beatles song and that was like a cover they were doing and it was like a Beatles thing I've never heard before, like it's so sounds like the Beatles that it's like if you told me it literally was like an abandoned McCartney-Lennon tune,
you'd believe it.
I could hear it. I could hear it as like the fucking Fab Four version of it in my head. Like you can hear how much they're I don't want to say ripping off the Beatles, but like you can hear how much they love the Beatles.
Dude, I heard of such a funny excerpt or part of a interview with Noel where he talks about this, where he said, I quoted part of it. Oh, it's, I'm not a genius. I'm just a fan of music. Okay. And so he said this thing where he's like, it's so funny to me how people will come up and say like, oh, that riff, like, he's like, I played Cigarettes and Alcohol for someone, and they're like, oh, wow, that sounds just like T-Rex. Or I play, Roll With It, and it sounds like the Beatles. And he's like, oh, yeah, you think so? It's like, no fucking shit it does. Like, of course it does.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm fucking doing on purpose. Like, what do you think I'm doing? You know?
What is the saying? Like, good artists borrow, great artists steal. I mean, because it's like, yeah, dude. Of course, it's of fucking course.
Is one of the best examples of that. And he also said in "Don't Look Back in Anger," there's that lyric right where he said like they'll say that the brains in your that the brains that you've got have gone to your head or something like that.
That's such a good line.
So he said, he was like, I was listening to one of the last interviews that John Lennon gave before he died. And he said that.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, and then it gets to the point where they'll say that the brains that you have gone to your head. And he's like, dude, I need to put that into a song. And
Lennon probably would have made it into a Lennon song.
And so he did. He put it in Don't Look Back in Anger, and he made Don't Look Back in Anger open with the exact same piano chords as Imagine by John Lennon, because on fucking purpose, just as I'm just doing John. Fuck you,
right, Right.
He's like, do you think I'm trying to be clever about it? You think I'm trying to hide it? He's like, if I want to do it, I will do it, and it will be fucking great. So fuck you. That's how Noel talks about his own music.
The thing is I really feel like at this point in especially British music history, it's like that style of songwriting, that super British poppy Lennon McCartney style of songwriting, right? That was on the table for anyone to come and just fucking grab that. Just grab that fucking thing and run with it. And you could have been Oasis. Like if you know how to do that well, like there was such a dearth in popular music of that style of just classic British pop songwriting, right? Like it was
here's
everyone.
The fascinating thing is that they were in the early 90s was in that trough phase. You know how like whenever something happens in pop culture, you fast forward it X amount of years and it's fucking lame.
Yeah.
You know, and then as time goes on, that little trough of cringeness and of lameness moves along. I think that this is sort of interesting is because that whole 60s thing, like they were the first to like, they were waiting like, you know, Greyhound racing dogs at the gate, just waiting for the fucking gate to open where like, it's not lame anymore. Do it.
Yeah.
You know, because 2 seconds before they did it, that would have been fucking stupid to just be doing Beatles shit.
Pastiche. Yeah. But it's like the way they do it works because I think, I mean, it's so self-evident that they love the Beatles. I think that is the primary band that you can just hear them obviously pulling from, but it's the way they do that is interspersed with all the other great bands that they're pulling from. Like they feel like the culmination of the British rock project, right? Like when I listen to Oasis, first and foremost, you hear the Beatles, you hear the Stones, you hear the Kinks, you hear the Sex Pistols, you hear Stone Roses, you hear the Smiths. Like you hear the entire pantheon, everything from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. They are pulling from all this shit. Like, and they are like a grab bag greatest hits of every great sound or thing that you like that's ever happened in British rock and roll. Like they just we'll take that, we'll take that, we'll take that, we'll take that. You know, and it's built on this foundation of like these very Lennon McCartney-esque kind of pop songs. But on top of that, it's like, you have T-Rex guitars, you know, and you've got a singer who sounds like Johnny Rotten, you know, you've got, you know, like, God, even Liam, like he does some shit where it is like, it is so on the nose, him doing Johnny Rotten, like the shine, like that whole thing that he's like famous for doing. That is fucking Johnny Rotten, dude. That's a Johnny Rotten.
That's such a good call. Nobody ever fucking talks about that. They always talk about the connection to the Beatles.
Oh man, there's so many things. There's so many bands like T-Rex and Sex Pistols were the surprising ones for me that like I could really, really hear it. I was not expecting T-Rex either. I just thought T-Rex were way too like funky and groovy for what this band was like trying to do.
It's really fascinating how strong the Beatles influence is in the sound, but they seemingly just drop the psychedelia, the whole psychedelic aspect of it.
They do and they don't. I don't know. I hear some of it, like in some of the lyrics. His lyrics are a little trippy to me. Like they're cool.
Some of them are kind of trippy, but not like I'm an Eggman.
No.
Fucking Lucy in the Sky with diamonds and plasticine porters. It's not that.
It's not that.
No. No, everything
it's like 20% of that though is in his lyrics,
which is so fascinating about it because that psychedelic ingredient to the Beatles is such a massive aspect of it. It's fascinating to think of what that sound is without that ingredient.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which then leads to the whole comparison of how Champagne Supernova. The question is, Champagne Supernova there a day in the life?
Kind of, yeah.
And because I was going to say
it's long enough.
The world asked that question, and I'm sorry, but the answer is no, it is not.
Well, okay, is it a
day in the life?
No, listen to me. Is it as good as Day in the Life? Obviously not.
No.
But like for
not
Oasis,
even fucking close.
For Oasis though, for Oasis, If you have to judge on that curve, sure.
I mean, it's the one that is obviously reaching into that in that direction.
Yeah.
The whole thing that makes A Day in the Life what it is that it's multiple songs.
Right.
Being blended together and like a soundscape and like a cinematic, like a 2001 Space Odyssey fucking wormhole journey put onto a record. Champagne Supernova is a 7.5 minute long song.
Right.
That has like throwback aesthetics. And that's pretty much it.
That's kind of the story with all of them, though, is they all are doing these little grab bags of tricks that other bands do and peppering them in their own stuff. I will say it works, though. I think it works. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing is to have it open with like the sound of the ocean. You know, that's the one point at which they're kind of, you know, yeah. If you do like about 1,000% more of that, then maybe you're verging on that you've made A Day in the Life.
Like, my whole thought was like, before I listened to this band, was like, okay, it's just they're like British Nirvana doing like angsty Beatles arrangements of their songs, right?
Dude,
like
that is such a good way to put it. Right there, what you just said.
That's kind of how I always heard it. What I didn't realize was like how much they were in conversation with what British rock guitar music was already up to at that point. Like literally like Stone Roses and My Bloody Valentine and kind of the more shoegaze and like the Smiths. Like I really hear like Johnny Marr type stuff in some of this. Like I was really surprised by that, which was just like how much in line it was with that stuff, with stuff of the more recent history, not like far history at that point, right? Like, yeah, I wasn't really expecting that. I knew they were grabbing from the 60s. I think that's what everybody knows about this band. That's
what everyone says. That's the repeating soundbite about them. Yeah.
But what surprised me was to clearly right away hear how much they were pulling from the 70s and 80s as well.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And I hadn't really realized it until you're saying it. I learned the same thing.
Right.
That how like actually plugged into what was happening in the 90s they were.
Yeah.
But I think that first comparison of what you assumed
it's not far off.
that they're the British Nirvana sort of still does hold true to that, though, because you know, Kurt Cobain was like a pretty studious dude, man. He really, really listened to what was going on. And
Beatles fan.
And big, a huge
big
Beatles
fan, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that and also other bands of the 70s and 80s and everything leading up to what he was doing, you know? I mean, there's such a big difference between the way that these guys are portrayed for marketing and the way that they really were. Right. And for marketing, in order to sell records and sell guitars to teenagers and sell black clothing to Americans and to sell Union Jacks to British kids, it works to portray them as just random dudes from a bedroom who never heard anything and picked up a guitar and just played the song in their heart one day. And you can too. But that's not really how they were at all.
Yeah.
They were very studious. They studied the masters and they learned to play the way that all their heroes and their favorite bands played before they wrote their songs. And while they were writing their songs, crucially, both Noel and Kurt Cobain talked about that, about how like Noel Gallagher said something in that same interview where he's like, I will get obsessed with a song and just totally get into it, someone else's song. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and I can get like 12 of my own songs out of that one song. Just basically finding something that I like about it and just coming up with my own thing, vibing off of it. And a lot of these guys' influences were contemporary to them and from like a few years before them. Not even just from the 60s.
Yeah, that Beatles comparison is right there on the surface. You can hear it. It's obvious. But it's also like, yeah, if you peel back that layer, it's really they were of the Britpop thing that was happening then.
Yeah. Oasis is a great, that was another big takeaway from the stadium show. Man, dude, the sound at this fucking shows, dude, was so good. The guitar tones. Oh.
Noel is a really cool guitar player, and he's a very prototypically 90s guitar player, but I wouldn't describe him as like a great guitar player. He doesn't like blow my mind. If you're talking about Noel Gallagher and his strength, aside from his songwriting ability, which we've already kind of talked about, his ability to kind of pull from all these different artists and songwriters, and he makes something that you can clearly hear his influences, but it also is pretty uniquely Noel Gallagher at the same time. But I think the thing beyond that is his like major strength is not in his ability as a guitarist, but the tones he's able to get from the guitar. Like I think his tones are remarkable. He is not like a mind-blowing like guitar player though. Like he is like a pentatonic blues scale guitar guy, and it doesn't really get much. It doesn't get much more inventive or interesting than that. Like he's got between the two of them, they've got the Lennon-McCartney thing. They don't have the George Harrison thing though. That is missing. They don't have that.
Yeah. I mean, but both Lennon and McCartney wrote with some pretty inventive chords and chord shapes going on in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Noel's skills are very, very basic. But what he's just got the ear.
I think it's like his taste is like having the good taste to like, because if I would actually describe this album as like pretty lush. Like it is like super filled out. Like every nook and cranny has like something going on. And yeah, there's two guitars, bass, drums, vocals, backup vocals, which he does. He's really great.
Great harmonies. He's a fantastic backup singer. Yep.
But yeah, I think the strength of his musicianship is in like the sound he brings, less so than like he's not a mind-blowing guitar player, really.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Every time that he takes a solo, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what teenagers can play.
Like
okay,
it's
cool.
to the point where I'm surprised. Like he has the lead guitar ability of someone who usually would and should be the primary rhythm guitar player, right? Like,
yeah.
And I'm not saying this to like disparage him or whatever. It's just kind of like one aspect of their musicianship that is like really lacking for me, which is like as soon as they stop singing, it's like, all right, well.
You know what? I'm just. This is just coalescing in my mind right now. Oasis is a band that has two rhythm guitar players.
They do, yeah. And it sounds awesome. It sounds really big and full, and it's cool. But
most bands have a rhythm and a lead. This band has got two rhythm guys. That's what they got.
Yeah,
and they're both just playing rhythm. And when someone takes a solo. Yep, that is the rhythm guitar player taking a solo. And I say that as a rhythm guitar player. You can ask anybody whose band I've ever played in.
Yeah.
Any producer that I've ever worked for, they'll tell you, man, if you want some good rhythm stuff, go to Brandon. If you need a solo, you should probably hit up somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, I say this because I know it when I see it, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But it makes it unique and it makes it really cool because there's such cool sounds that can come from that. You know, what if you did just have two rhythm guitar players? They're playing with fantastic tone because they use fantastic gear too, man. Like so many of the tracks that Noel played on this album, the amp that he's using is there's an amp out there, everybody. If you don't know what it is, it's called a Vox AC30.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the most important guitar amps in history.
That's a desert island amp right there.
Exactly. However, the AC30 that he used on this record was the amp that was the house amp at the Cavern
Shut up.
in Liverpool.
Whoa.
In the 60s.
Wow, like the amp from that.
The amp.
Whoa. I did
So
not know
all the
that.
bands that played in the Cavern, which is where the Beatles came from and all the other great, bands from Liverpool, that amp by this point in time belonged to Noel, and that's what he was playing through. So
wow.
And this is something that both you and I know from spending so much of our lives recording music in home studios and this and that, and then also spending some time making music and experiencing recording music in like Capitol Studios and like the full things, is the difference that gear really does make.
Yes. Yeah, it's
and
true.
YouTube is full of people who will tell you that it makes no difference and you can get the same sound from free plugins, but
sorry, dudes.
I'm sorry, it's not true.
It's not.
It just isn't.
It's not.
I want it to be. If the world were fair, it would be, but
you
just
can get close.
Isn't. You can get close, but you will make your version of What's the Story, Morning Glory, and when you're listening to it, it sounds fucking fantastic. And then you A/B it, you put it next to this album, and it will not sound the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
There will be that extra. It's like how they say with cars, like when you have X amount of horsepower, to be able to go just 5 miles per hour faster, you need twice the horsepower. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like that. The diminishing returns, where that last little caliber of this world-class gear makes a huge difference to the sound.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do, I believe, with how fantastic the guitar tones are.
Yeah. Yeah. And pretty varied too. Like they do all kinds of weird stuff with the guitars on this. Like what's the one that starts with like bow 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 bow? It's like at the end kind of.
That's Morning Glory.
Morning Glory, yeah. Oh my God. Super wild.
The one that sounds like a fucking Guns N' Roses song.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. It's crazy.
It sounds like the beginning of fucking Welcome to the Jungle or something.
There's some kind of there's like a dobro kind of thing on Cast No Shadow, which is really interesting.
Yes.
On Hey Now, there's like a slide. It's like an electric slide guitar that is like really fucking sick.
Yes.
Like he has the wherewithal to like pick and choose to use these different like timbres and tones and guitar tones at really specific spots throughout the album.
Strings, and it's so tasteful where the strings sit. It might always be Mellotron strings.
Definitely Mellotron on here. Yeah.
It may not be real strings at any point. I'm not sure, but
I'm only seeing Mellotron.
Okay, but anyway, the Mellotron strings, like just how it doesn't push forward. It doesn't make a big deal of itself. It's just in there for the texture.
It always sits under the vocal and guitars.
Yes. And another big similarity, by the way, of being the guitar guy in this rock band and being the producer and bringing in all these things, it really evokes Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
As well. And
that's a great pull. He is more Jimmy Page than anything, despite not being able to play.
You hear all the comparisons to the Beatles, but what about the comparisons to Led Zeppelin? Because Noel, to go back to talking specifically about Noel's guitar playing, Noel's guitar abilities on this record are, he plays and sounds just like Jimmy Page if he didn't have all the like good guitar playing skills.
Right.
Like if you took Jimmy Page and his touch and the way that he bends and the those little wow wows and how he will like arpeggiate his chords and the way that he'll strum and the way that he digs in, it's so Jimmy Page, but you have to take away everything that Jimmy Page learned past the age of 15 on the guitar. Like, and you got Noel Gallagher. Like,
It's true. It's true.
To give him credit, this is why he deserves the legions of fans, is because of his sensibility.
Yeah.
The ear to put together these chords and these words and these melodies into a song. He doesn't have the skill with his hands, but goddamn, he's got that songwriter sensibility.
You know who they really are like, now that I think about it, and it's really an appropriate comparison too, is they're like the Who in a lot of ways. Because think about it, you got Townsend, who is a singer-songwriter, but mostly plays rhythm guitar, plays lead guitar, but I think if you put him up to the other guys from his era, he's one of the worst. He wasn't, he wasn't anywhere near as good as anyone else. He was amazing for what he did, because he was like such like a proto-punk style guitarist. I'm not slagging off Pete Townsend, but like you got singer-songwriter, guitarist, rhythm guitarist playing lead, who probably should just stick to rhythm, but like plays lead too, who sometimes sings and writes all the songs. Then you got Roger Daltrey, pure pretty boy, there to sing lead. The interesting thing is you've got Keith Moon, the drummer, taught Zach Starkey, Ringo's child, how to play drums, grew up, was in Oasis for a minute or something, right?
Yes. Yes. Zach Starkey was the touring drummer of Oasis after this point in time.
It's interesting because just like, I think all of this is kind of pointing to all these like reference points we can both hear them pulling from, and it's so clear. Is like, I think at this point in the 90s, like that mantle of like amazing British rock and roll band, that mantle was empty. Like it was either old bands still touring, or it was like, yeah, there were cool British bands, like you pointed out a lot of them, but they didn't do that thing that was in the lineage of the Beatles, the Stones, the Who, like the Clash, the Sex Pistols. Like they weren't like that super raw pure fucking rock and roll thing, that classic rock and roll thing. They were very wise. They capitalized on that fact that was that throne was empty. Like they took it. You know,
because it's very much flip-flopped in the 80s. The thing that we were talking about was in the early 90s, America was dark.
Yeah.
Britain was all sunshine and good times. Like the 80s is fucking reverse, man.
It is. America's like all dumb and like happy, but like very vapid and like
just doing coke.
No substance.
Just fucking, everyone's just bopping in the club doing coke,
like,
man.
Everyone's happy, but there's no substance behind any of our culture or art from that moment. And in Britain, you're right. Everyone is like really dark, and that's where industrial stuff is coming out.
Gothed out, fucking sad boy music.
But you're right. And then we flipped. Our culture's flipped. I wonder what the fuck that is.
Well, that's how everything works, man. Every artistic movement. Seriously, somebody in the comments, anywhere, somebody find me a artistic movement that is not a direct reaction in opposition to the previous movement.
That's true.
That preceded it.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like going hundreds and hundreds of years back. This is not a recent thing. That's how it fucking works, man, you know?
Very interesting. Do we have anything we want to say about Liam specifically before we go to standout songs?
The only really thing that I feel a burning desire to say about Liam comes more from seeing him perform live, which is a really cool thing, which is that...
Does he do the thing where he stands with his arms behind his back like he's arrested, and he just stands and stands still and sings?
Constant. He did not sing a single syllable without his hands together behind his back. And so Liam Gallagher is so fucking cool because he has found an original way to use a mic stand like in the way that a guitar god uses a guitar. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've got what's his name from Queen? What's his fucking name?
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury, you know, with his thing where like the top comes off and he can run around with it and hold it like a circus master holds his like cane and his baton and shit, you know. You got fucking Steven Tyler with the bandanas and the rocking it and basically like picking it up and using it in the same way that you carry a guitar. But Liam, like, it's an original fucking thing. It never moves. He doesn't fucking touch it. It's one straight mic stand. Like I said before, nobody else in the band is doing anything interesting at all. He's the only one who has got some movement and some kinetic expression.
Yeah.
That the audience can get excited by. And he really does it. He's like carrying that whole aspect of this rock and roll show like single-handedly. But the way that he does it is all of the moments of the song when he's not singing, he's just like bobbing with the music. And then as soon as he's singing, he gets right. He has fantastic mic technique. Like where you should put your mouth and your head in relation to the microphone to get the best tone out of it. He's got it down.
Yeah.
He gets right in there on the mic and he freezes. When he's singing, if there is sound coming out of his mouth, he is immobile.
Wow.
And if he's not singing, he's bouncing. And if he is singing, he's fucking immobile.
Wow.
Hold still. And like even like gaps in the lines. Freeze, move, freeze, move, 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 freeze. I'm singing, freeze, 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 move, 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 freeze. It's like robotic.
Interesting.
But it's hypnotic too.
Mm-hmm.
And it has that same effect of like when you just watch someone who's just like melting faces on their guitar, the way that he interacts with a microphone and a mic stand, it's like, it's cool. It makes you want to be him. It makes you want to be a rock star. Like the way that it makes people make you want to play air guitar. It's so cool.
If we're talking about who, if anyone in this group is like impressive musically, despite him having like a very limited range as a singer, he's amazing to me.
He's amazing.
He's unbelievable. Like
he sounds so good.
His voice is like top 10 rock singer voices ever. Like, especially if we even narrow it down to like British rock singers, like he is like fucking top 10.
He's got to be in there.
He's got to be. Like, he's so fucking cool. Like,
and I really got to give it up to him too, because it's so evident how much he has practiced and really worked and really gotten prepared for this reunion tour.
Oh man, you can feel it. You can feel how much more seriously they're taking this.
Oh man,
like,
dude, yeah, because there's so many. We haven't even gotten into. We could spend a couple hours just talking about all the different stories of the fucking train wreck shows from before they broke up.
Yeah.
And the ways in which Liam would just shit the bed and just sabotage gigs and shit.
Like I saw one. It was about their first show in America when they played the Whiskey a Go Go here in LA, and they all had stayed up all night, accidentally snorting crystal meth because they thought it was coke, and so nobody slept, and they all went on stage, and Liam was doing bumps of crystal meth off the behind the amps in between songs. And it got so bad because they were also sleep deprived that they all started playing different songs at the same time. And it was like after that gig, Noel literally left the band and like flew out of town, and like nobody knew where he was. Like there was like, yeah. But I mean, it's like that was like a dime a dozen for this band. Like it
happened
constant.
So many times, and so the quality of Liam's singing would be a grab bag.
Yeah.
But for this reunion tour,
he would often just bail. Like he would just bail on shows, and Noel would sing. You know, that started happening a lot.
And then, and which then leads me to just the last bit that I have to say about the musicianship here is, one of the reasons why they sound so fantastic in this reunion tour is because of the drummer. So their drummer on this tour is Joey Waronker, who I know as being the drummer for Beck.
Oh, interesting.
This is the first and only time that he's ever played with Oasis, I believe. But this is one of my soapboxes. This is one of my principles, hills that I will die on when it comes to music, especially live. A band can only sound as good as the drummer does. The drummer is the floor of how good you can possibly sound as a band. And really, seriously, I will tell you, the majority of the times that a person who really doesn't know anything about music at all hears a band play live, and what they have to say is like, man, you guys sounded so great. Man, that band, I saw them. Oh, I've heard of them. I saw them live. They were so good. I really enjoyed it. What they really responded to was the quality of the drum performance. If the drums are played badly, the band sounds bad. It doesn't matter what else happens.
Yeah.
If the drums are played fucking nasty and so good, it almost doesn't matter what anybody else does. The crowd is going to vibe with it.
Totally. Yeah.
Because drums make, and especially live, especially at high volumes, when you can feel the kick drum in your heart and you can feel the snare drum hit you on the top of the head. If the drummer is rocking, you're going to respond to it and you're going to enjoy it.
Totally.
And this drummer, Joey Waronker, is such a good drummer. And he's so steady. And the way that he just captures these like mid-tempo things where so many Oasis songs are, and like mid to slow tempo. And he's just right there, right in the pocket, just like taking these drum parts that the earlier Oasis drummers played and came up with, and
which are
no offense, but like is just playing them at like A++ level.
Interesting.
It is making this tour so pleasing to the ear.
Literally sitting here overwhelmed with jealousy that you got to see this tour twice. I'm
sorry,
so jealous.
Dude. I wish I could have gotten you in, man.
Me too. Anyway, I think we should let's go to Standout Songs.
Oh my God, dude, we're going to talk about one battle after another so hard in the bonus episode.
I know.
By the way, if our patrons on Patreon get bonus episodes almost all the time, in between every single one of these episodes, we don't talk about albums over there necessarily. We normally
always
talk about other topics.
Movies.
It's pretty much always either movies or politics or whatever is on our mind.
Yeah.
But man, we are about to talk about one battle after another so goddamn hard.
We are, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. All right, Lockjaw, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, first standout song, Hey Now.
Nice.
Just fantastic chords, fantastic melody, great rock vibe. It has like the starts and stops. It something. It has. I can't remember what episode before we were talking about the principle of just tension and release in music.
Yeah.
About how in all art and even like storytelling, even in one battle after another, it's those moments of like building up the tension and then gaps of energy, of low energy, and the contrast between the two really makes everything work. This song, there's just whole pockets where just the band just stops playing for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Comes back in. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's really it's a super groovy song. Like it's one of those songs that kind of is very evocative of their kind of more punk leanings too, I think. And it has that sick slide thing. That which is really cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No. And by the way, this is the thing that I had the guitar here for. The 5 chord. When it comes back in, this is another cool thing that the song does, which is the length of that tension chord changes depending on which part of the song you're in. The main loop of the song, the ding, da, da, ding, da, 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 that chord, Just that part alone makes me love this song. But at the end, when it goes through the chorus now and it goes to the post-chorus thing and then that little gap of silence, it's going to come back to the verse, but it doesn't go bam, bam, boom. No, it goes, it does it longer, right? Instead of, so it gives you tension on the tension because you've already got accustomed to
how that works.
One measurement of tension.
Right.
But now that we're going to come back home, I'm going to keep you hanging on the tension. I'm going to keep that little moment of foreplay going even longer.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Noel Gallagher didn't invent that. That's like that's actually can be found many places in popular music, but that's one of those little great techniques that songwriters out there can steal. Also, the song is deceptively slow.
Yeah, it is kind of slow. I mean, I know
Even
I said
what I was playing right now
way
was
faster.
Way faster.
Yeah, I know I said it kind of is evocative of like kind of their punk kind of side, but not in a tempo sense, kind of more in like a vibe sense, you know? It's not the vibey kind of McCartney thing, it's like the vibey Sex Pistols thing.
Yeah.
It has the attitude of like the Sex Pistols, but yeah, it's much, much slower.
And I think that's a commonality across a lot of Oasis's music is the fact that they play it that slow is really what makes it work.
Yeah, they do. They, in general, are a slower tempo band. Like all across the board, all their stuff is just way slower. Yeah.
And it's so cool because you can tell that like that's where they naturally feel it.
Yeah.
Like they're not doing it as a strategy so that the song sounds better. You know,
Right.
it does sound better when they do that, but you can just tell that that's just how these guys feel it is like that. That's the natural rhythm that their arm wants to bob at as they're strumming. And it's really cool because, man, it's not like that for me.
No, yeah.
It's not like that for most musicians I've ever played with. Our natural place, how we want to rock with it is way faster.
Yeah, and I think most musicians have a tendency to rush and to push things. That's the hardest tendency to overcome as a musician is to rush, you know, and to play too fast. And we've talked about it on the show before, how hard it is to play slow, you know? I think partially because of that natural tendency we all have to play faster, and just because it is easier. Like, it is easier just to play the song a little quicker.
Yes.
But yeah, they do sit in a really slower pocket, which is really surprising. And I'm kind of, yeah, I think you're right. It is probably just like where they groove at
and
best.
they all do, like as a unit, like not to step on it if it is one that you're going to pick, but to say, Roll With It was recorded in one live take, the whole band. So there you have it. Like they all feel this same bounce, and it's very cool.
Yeah, and this is another song where it's like you can tell that the like focus of this album was to get like gigantic, massive, huge choruses, like have those kind of arena rock moments, like as like something that this band can whip out of their back pocket like at any time. Because like every chorus on this album is like that, where it's just like this massively poppy thing, right? And it's almost one of the things that threw me off when I first listened to this. Was like, this is too poppy for me. It's a little too poppy. It's a little too teeny bopper. It's a little too bubblegum. But like,
it really is.
But I get it though. Like I'm not saying that as like a real. That was kind of my initial like off the cuff kind of feeling. But like, I think they're just really good songs. Like at the end of the day.
I think it's cool that you saw that so quickly though, because it took me a while to really catch on to that, because like here's an interesting experiment. If you go down the track listing of What's the Story of Morning Glory and you just read every song title, you can hear and the catchy, you can sing along with that moment. Wonderwall. Don't look back in anger. I heard you say every single song.
You're right.
The title
Is the big
has
hook. Is
a
the huge
built-in
hook.
catchy hook in it.
Yeah.
And what is that a hallmark of? Counterculture fucking rebellious rock? No.
Really successful songwriting.
Fucking pop music.
Yeah,
Bubblegum pop
too.
music. And it's similar to how like Hollywood actors who play like ugly characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the ugliest Hollywood actors are fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
You know? Like a lot of people, it's so funny to me how some people may think that like, oh, I'm not into that pop shit. I like rock and roll. I like hard. I like rebellious bad boy music, outsider music like Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dude, no, you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't. You like pop music.
I'm so sorry. My brother in Christ. You like pop music.
Hand on the shoulder.
Hand on the shoulder. My brother in Christ. You like pop music.
Yeah, you do,
This
dude. Sorry.
is fucking
Pop music.
bubblegum ass. The only difference is in the presentation.
Exactly. Yeah. It's that they can dress it up in the 90s rock band thing.
Yeah, it's the
You could like produce, like recontextualize any of these songs as like you could take any of them and do them in like a, I don't know, like an Alanis Morissette way, right? And you could flip it that way, or you could go
Don't
further.
Look back in anger.
Yeah, or you could go further and you could do it in like a Norah Jones even. Like you could, I mean, and that's a hallmark of just really, really good songs. But it also just speaks to like the fact that they are that easily transposable is a testament to their popness, is how poppy they are, right?
Right.
Is that if you just produce them in a different way, it could totally be like, I don't want to go too far here and like piss people off and say like Backstreet Boys, like that's too far, I think.
No, dude, Don't Look Back in Anger.
Yeah.
Done by the Backstreet Boys.
It would probably be kind of sick.
With the same production of I Want It That Way.
Yeah.
It would totally work.
Yeah.
All of the songs on this album, all of them would work that way.
I have a sneaky
They're
suspicion.
fucking pop songs.
I have a sneaky suspicion that's true, and I hope that people don't take that as me shitting on this, because I'm not. I think it's cool.
The difference between these Oasis songs and Backstreet Boys, it's what's called prosody. Okay, prosody is the quality that exists in language and communication. It's the difference between me saying no and no and no. All three of those are the word no, but the meaning and the feeling is completely fucking different. And Oasis is pop ass music that is played with this fuck you,
cool,
dangerous prosody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's all. That's the only fucking difference. Third pick is She's Electric.
Oh, nice. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
I really like it.
That is like a pure pop song from a whole different era. That's another one where it just sounds like, okay, if this was 1963 and it was the Beatles if this was the B-side to fucking Hard Day's Night, like I'd be like, well, yeah, okay,
it's
cool.
Fucking Paul McCartney song. And the reason why I single it out as a standout is because it's so easy for this song to just be a groaner, to just be like, oh God. It would be so easy for it to just be, which is normal for an album. A lot of albums just have that one or maybe two songs, which is like, okay, that's stupid. Forget it. Like they just needed a track 8. That's the only reason why this is on there. I'm just going to skip past this one, but it's not. It's fucking, and again, it is yet another testament to that quality of being undeniable that Oasis has. You know, even with all this poppy accusations that we're throwing at them, they overcome all of it with just this fucking genuineness the way that Liam sings it, the way that Noel plays it, the way that the rest of the band plays it, like, it doesn't suck. It's not lame. It's not cheesy. It's not cringe. Like, it's fucking cool. Like, it breaks through that barrier again. Yeah.
And it's a testament to their ability as a band that you can hear them being like, all right, let's pull from England in 1987, and they'll do some Stone Roses-y sounding thing, and it's like, yeah, okay, you guys can do that. And then they'll go, let's pull from 77, and it's like, oh, cool, you guys can just do Sex Pistols too. That's fucking sick. And then it's like, okay, let's pull from 67 or before that, really, even. And it's a testament to their band that they can do that well, and they are able to integrate it into their sound in such a way where it doesn't sound like a groaner, or it doesn't sound like some kind of weird Black Sheep song on the record. Like, it doesn't
sound like an outlier.
It doesn't sound like an outlier. It is at home in this context of songs.
And very much not like how Ween does it, which is that each song is now a close the previous book, open a new book stylistically, and we're going to have each song, like, if we do an early 60s Paul McCartney style song, we're going to dedicate it. There's walls around every song.
Right.
Oasis is not like that. Like, no matter what they do, all the travels that they take, it ends up sounding like this cohesive whole. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
What are your three, you little...
Two of mine, you already picked, actually.
Really?
Some might say, and She's Electric were my two as well. I had, but my third one, also, I have other ones I want to talk about, but I'll save those for favorite best. I'll save
we haven't done favorite best yet.
Two alternates. There's other ones we could talk about too that I'll touch on just really quickly, but the other one I picked out, it's really funny that of all these songs we both picked out, some might say, and She's Electric. That's really funny to me. My third one was Roll With It. I really, really enjoy Roll With It. That is that is the one to me that just like really has like the rock and roll thing in spades. Like, it feels Union Jack, and it feels Keith Richards, and it feels like fucking Sex Pistols, and it's fucking God Save the Queen, and it's just like, it's really fun.
And it feels 90s.
And it does feel 90s at the same time. Yeah, it does feel contemporary to that time, while just being evocative of like the general kind of spirit of like English music, but it wasn't doing something like She's Electric where it's like directly like reinterpreting it, right? It's like it sounds like Oasis. It sounds like mostly them. I really enjoy Morning Glory as well, with that really, really huge. Wouldn't have been a standout for me though. But there is like good stuff in that one, and like that one also has, like, I will say, they're trying to do that big important chorus thing, but I would say on Morning Glory, it's the one song where it doesn't, for me, like, that might be my least favorite melody of all the big choruses.
I agree with you, Nate.
This kind of sounds like they're doing kind of like an annoying grunge takeoff type of thing to me in a way, like with that chorus. And that's the one chorus on here where, despite all of the choruses and all of the poppiness of this album kind of being a little nails on the chalkboard for me, like upon initial listening, I wound up fully coming around to this thing by the end, like by today, really liking it actually. But that was the one where I'm kind of like, this just, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. It's one of the only parts of the album that is not timeless.
Yeah.
Even that guitar riff, it's like, okay, that we left that riff in the 90s.
I'll also say, which this wasn't going to be a standout either, but I'll mention it, is the opening. I wish I have a whole segment just saying Nate talks about the opening track. Because I always have something to say about the opening song. Hello. The first song is called Hello, which is cute. And it starts, this is so funny. This is a super 90s move and a super big, just like, fuck you, right out of the gate. is there's like this fake out intro where he's playing the chords to Wonderwall. He's playing the chords to Wonderwall, and then it's like someone plugs the guitar and it's like feedback. And then they start into the real first song.
And they play it slow to make you turn it up.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
It's really funny. It's very cheeky. It's very funny. It's definitely them. Yeah. You can tell them already being aware of like how insane Wonderwall is just gonna be.
Exactly. I'm glad that you pointed that out because they made this decision to do that before Wonderwall was released as a single.
Right. They knew it. I think everybody just knew. Well, I think they'd been playing it live leading up to recording this, and it was like a huge staple at their live shows. It was also a song. Where I'm talking about Wonderwall now. We should talk about Wonderwall on its own. But
let me do one honorable mention of a standout song, which is unorthodox because it's not on this album.
Oh, okay.
Is the song "Acquiesce"?
Oh, dude, that's my favorite song by far from the band. Like,
yes,
it's the best song they have.
It technically, I'm shoehorning it into this. Talking about this album because
we're never going to talk about Oasis again.
Well, yeah, that probably right. We're never going to do Oasis again, but also because it's on the B side to the single of Some Might Say.
Oh, interesting.
So it is from this album,
the sessions and everything. Kind of.
Yeah.
It should have been on this album.
It's part of the release cycle of this album.
It totally should have been on this record. I'm bummed to hear that it's a B-side actually for a single.
So when you were texting me,
yeah, that's the song I was telling you about. I'm like, okay, this fucking song, have they played that yet or whatever? Like that was the song I was like, I have to get into this band. Like this is such a great song. So
the day before my birthday, the day before the first show, I was working there at the stadium for the setup of, for these tours, they spend the entire day before the show building the stage and the entire fucking apparatus that goes into putting on the show. It's massive. And when Oasis came out for sound check, it was the whole band except for Liam. And I didn't realize that it was them sound checking because I wasn't familiar enough with Oasis's music enough. Because
they look and dress like a bunch of middle-aged men.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of fucking dudes who were standing there, and I couldn't tell them apart from the openers. Well, and I'm like a football field away from them too. But just from the sound, I did not realize that I'm listening to Oasis. Mm-hmm. Right? But the song that they sound checked with was Acquiesce, and it was everything except for Liam. So it's just instrumental, and then cause we need each other, and like I thought that it was one of the openers, and I was like, dude, these guys are fucking great.
Right,
that is a good song.
Good song, man.
Yeah. Wow,
you weren't even. You weren't even hearing the best part of the song, which is Liam's part. It's the best part of the whole fucking song.
And so now comes the next night where they actually play it. It was the second song in the set, and they actually play it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then you and I are texting, and I was like, oh, dude, this song. And you instantly, you're like, dude, that is my favorite Oasis song.
Easily.
Like, quick response.
You know what? In the spirit of highlighting this song, because I didn't realize it was from these sessions, it's better than all these songs. It's the best song.
I think it is better than every song on What's the Story, Morning Glory. And it's so cool because, all right, I am not familiar enough with their whole discography to know this, but I think that it's correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the only song where they both sing sort of like in equal lead parts.
I'm sure there's other ones
back and forth like that.
I'm sure there's other ones, but I don't know.
Yeah. If you don't know the song, Liam sings the verses and Noel sings the chorus.
Yeah.
And the chorus, beautiful lyrics.
Yeah.
Amazing lyrics.
It's really good, yeah.
So good about how we need each other and we make it with each other, thanks to each other and all this stuff. It's amazing. And there's just something really interesting about this song, across their career. This song seems to be kind of sacred for them because from the time that they broke up and the 16 years before they reunited, they both would, Liam and Noel would both play a lot of Oasis songs live, and sometimes using them just, you know, for their own glory and selling their own tickets, and sometimes as a fuck you to each other, you know, from great distances, shooting cannons at each other and insults and shit. But neither one of them ever played Acquiesce during all that time.
Wow.
Even though they could have, even though they did do other songs that feature each other's voice and sing each other's parts in other songs, they didn't do that with this. And in those gigs where Liam would fucking sabotage the gig and like sing wrong lyrics and like refuse to sing parts of songs and like train wreck the show.
Right.
When they did Acquiesce, he wouldn't fuck with that song.
Right.
He would just sing it normal and then continue fucking up the show after that.
It is an unbelievable song. It is the song. When I heard it, my jaw dropped. I was like, this is like, I was like, am I about to spend $600 to go see this band? Like,
and so they played it second in the set of the reunion, and you could just fucking feel it, dude, with the crowd. It's like religious. Like, it has finally happened, because that was the song that, like, in all the YouTube, you go see the music video of that song on YouTube, and all down the comments are all these comments from the past 16 years before they announced that they were reuniting, of like, man, can you imagine one day if they fucking get together and sing this song again? Like, oh, and people who are like, no, it'll happen. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing when this happens. Comments from like 10 years ago. And it finally fucking happened. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So, gotta shout out that song.
Well, I think we would both agree that is probably our favorite and best, but
yes, but since we have to pick songs
from the record, let's play our new favorite game.
Favorite, best. You go first. I went first with Standout.
I'll go first this time.
Certain listeners are going to fucking try to castrate us if we don't talk about a certain 3 songs that are on this record, but go ahead.
You're right. And I know this is going to be crazy, but I'm going to list 2 of the 3 now, so everyone stops freaking out.
Here we go.
Favorite song, Swamp Song version 1. Best song, Swamp Song version 2. So, I don't know about you. I don't know if you've got... I don't know if you want to talk about some of the more controversial picks.
I'm giving you a dub clap.
What's the one? Don't look at Wonderwall or Champagne Anger or whatever. What are those ones? I don't know. But Swamp Song 1 and 2, yeah, favorite best. So no, I don't know if you'll make fun of me for this, but like my favorite song is Champagne Supernova.
Okay.
I think it's really great. I do find. I know you.
Fun of you.
I know you kind of.
I mean, I will make fun of you, but not for that.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you kind of pointed out that this band is kind of lacking in like the psychedelia department. That was
in comparison to the Beatles.
In comparison to the Beatles, sure. Dude. But like I find Noel's lyrics to be like kind of maybe the sleeper MVP of his skill set. Like his lyrics are really, really special. And I didn't have enough time to draw a bunch of lyrics together. But like listen to the lyrics in Champagne Supernova. They're very like evocative. And I mean, even just like this was a crazy thought I had, but like I was thinking of like, what is a champagne supernova? Like, what is that evocative of, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing that came to mind when I'm putting this band and these guys in the context of a champagne supernova, I'm thinking it's like when the football club wins the championship and they're just fucking spraying champagne everywhere, and it's a fucking champagne explosion like in the sky, like that was kind of like the thought I had when I first
celebration,
yeah. And the fact that it's the final song on the album, it's kind of like the game is over, right? Like like in the sense of a finale. Yeah, like the match is over, like we won the game, right?
Yeah.
one of the three like super, super huge songs from this record. Curious if this has made your favorite or best. And then best, this might be controversial. I'm not going to say it's Wonderwall. It's Don't Look Back in Anger for me, I think is a better song. I think is a much more interesting.
Nate, my guy.
Better song.
Can I just tell you my favorite best real quick and then we'll continue? My favorite is Hey Now.
Okay.
Best is Don't Look Back in Anger.
Right?
It's the best song.
It's the best song.
It is. Close, such a close second to Champagne Supernova.
Yeah.
I almost had to give best to Champagne Supernova, but big picture, all things considered, and honestly, a part of the thing that puts Don't Look Back in Anger over the edge is that it is not over 7 minutes long.
Yeah, that helps.
That's part of it. But all things considered, big picture, Don't Look Back in Anger has got everything that all the other great songs on the album have. Everything that makes Wonderwall great, Don't Look Back in Anger also has that in there too. Everything that makes Champagne Supernova great, Don't Look Back in Anger also has that in there too. But even more, just beyond, just that vocal melody in the chorus.
It's just the best.
It's an all-timer.
Yeah, it is.
That is that's up there with the greatest song melodies.
Yeah.
Not even in just modern music. It sounds classical. It sounds like a fucking Mozart melody. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
that is an all-timer, dude.
I literally use the exact same way to describe it in my notes. I just put all-time great song, all-time great melody. It's like one of the greatest songs ever written, like easily.
That is one of those songs that like few songs outside of Michael Jackson and like ABBA's and the Bee Gees discography possess this, which is that they are massive, prolific earworms in the rest of the world that doesn't speak English.
Yeah, yeah.
And they all will just sing gibberish along with that melody, and they are just as connected to that as we are. You know?
Yeah.
It's just that melody, that moment, every band exists to with their fingers crossed, like, fuck, I hope that we can produce one there. Like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say the one kind of asterisk I would say to picking it as the best of the record is I love that Noel sings. I do, and I think he nails it. Like, it's great.
He sounds really good.
He sounds really great. I can't help but think it would sound better with Liam, though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it would.
I never thought about that until right now, but I think you're right.
It would, yeah. Just because Noel's not as good a singer. That's not his strength that he brings to the thing. That's Liam's thing. The other thing I just realized too is the lyric preceding the brains you've got are going to go to your head line that is a Lennon quote that you brought up. The lyric preceding that is, I want to start a revolution from my bed, which is undoubtedly another Lennon reference because he literally did the bed in with Yoko or whatever in the 60s. And just like the lyrics in this song are really great. Even just like the sentiment of "Don't look back in anger" is like a really charming, like heartfelt. Like you can tell Noel is the big brother in every sense of that word, and he means it, and he wants to be it, and he's like trying so hard to like keep this thing together, and to be professional, but his partner in life and in business and everything is fucking Liam Gallagher, which is like, I'm sorry, man, I don't know what to tell you. It's luck of the draw. So before we go to final thoughts, do we explain ourselves for not mentioning or speaking about Wonderwall at all, or why it didn't make our favorite or best or stand out?
I think it might be revealing.
Okay.
That may make you ponder, dear listener. Out of all of this, how come they didn't talk about Wonderwall?
Hot take. Here's my hot take.
Our Negative Nancy hot take segment. Let's do it.
Hot take.
Negative Nancy.
Hot take corner. I don't like Wonderwall. I just don't like that song. And here's the thing. I think a lot of it is just from the fact that Wonderwall has been a meme and a joke in the rock songwriter community for 20 years, 25 years, like the majority of my adult life. It is like a joke. Like if you're at a party and you pick up a guitar and you start playing Wonderwall, it's like a fucking meme, right? It's become kind of a punchline, which is
it's our version of the No Stairway Denied.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's one of those. I guess maybe just because I have that negative connotation to it, it really did kind of prevent me from getting super into it. But I'll acknowledge, like, it is a great song. And I mean, it deserves all the fame and recognition that it's gotten. But it's like, I think that my hot take is that I don't like it very much, and it's hard for me to listen to because of that connotation that I think has been stuck with it all this time.
I feel almost exactly the same way as you, and I think what you're talking about really illustrates why our game favorite best is a thing, because it is possible for this song to be like, no, it ranks very highly in best.
Yeah, it does.
But God, it's like my least favorite. I don't like it.
It's too earwormy. It's grating at times. Like this is what I get at when I'm saying it. This album has like this grating kind of pop sensibility to it that is like I can't listen to this shit. Like some pop music. I'm not saying this, but like some pop music, I can't listen to because it is this like scientifically lab designed, like perfect earworm melody that like makes me want to like fucking tear my eardrums out. Because it's so effective. It's so good and it's so effective. And it's a testament to his ability as a songwriter. But man, it's
a little more test tubey. That's a good way to put it.
It is, yeah. It feels like this perfectly designed song in a way that's like how when you taste artificial strawberry flavoring, it's like, yeah, but that's not what a strawberry tastes like, you know?
It just annoys me when somebody, I don't know, when somebody tries to win such a big pot at the poker table with a gibberish lyric and a gibberish, you know, it's
especially when his lyrics on this album are so good.
Except for this song. Except for the whole lyric that surrounds the Wonderwall, the big payoff of the chorus specifically. And after all, you're my Wonderwall. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like it's the same way that like the Hanson song Mbop like frustrates me. It's like you're trying to win too much cachet with just a beepity bop and scoobity skeep.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it sort of does bother me in contrast to all of this fantastic lyric writing.
Yeah, because it is,
and the big pinnacle, so and after all, you're my Wonderwall.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm sure that there are Oasis fans who are going to murder us that know exactly what it means and it's really deep and blah, blah, blah. But do you have a hot take? What is your hot take?
I do. Okay. My hot take, negative Nancy corner, is that look, Oasis, Liam, Noel, you act like these fucking tough guys, but all you're fucking doing is just playing these goddamn bouncy pop songs. Just fucking relax, dude. Like, you're not that fucking tough. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, you act like the music that you play is so hardcore.
It's like Motorhead.
It is not hardcore at all. That was the first thing that I had to get over being at the shows. Was their reputation preceded them with me. I was expecting this music to sound dangerous.
Right.
And edgy and like fucking like you can't take these songs home to your parents.
Okay.
And it was just song after song. After a while, I was like, these guys are fucking pussies, dude. What the fuck? What?
Wow.
You know? So that's my take is I'm not saying that they're not tough because both of them could beat the crap out of me.
Yeah,
I know
probably.
it.
Especially Noel.
I'm just saying, relax, dude. You're not that fucking scary.
Here's what I'll say as a light rebuttal to your hot take. I do find that these songs have like an attitude to them that I think is what is responsible for that reputation. And they do have the real rock and roll bona fides of like they tear up hotels and they fucking do drugs and they snort meth and they do all this stuff
and
you're supposed to do.
It does come across. It's still that undeniable thing that I was talking about.
But it's not
does come across.
Slayer, you know.
Exactly.
It's not scary. Like it's fun. It's fun is what it is. It's not scary.
There is music that actually is intimidating. Yeah. And this is not it. This is such safe music.
Yeah. They do a really, really smart thing, which is that they're an all-male rock band. They flaunt their machismo and their testosterone. That is like part of their brand, right? But they make music that is not alienating to female fans. Like I think a huge 50, portion 50 a huge portion of their fan base is women, and I think that's like a testament to like a cool band. Honestly, if you can take your fucking girlfriend to the show, you know.
Yes. I consider that a positive and something that is very challenging to do. To still not hold back the testosterone in that undeniable quality that I keep talking about, and still, you know, act as wild as you want to. And that has the end effect of appealing equally to guys and girls both. It's that
guys want to be them, girls want to be with them. That's the whole fucking deal.
Everybody can do that.
Yeah, it's true.
Only Oasis and Black Market Dub are capable of doing that.
Okay, let's go to final thoughts.
That was my joke.
Ridiculous thing to say
for the episode. You got the whole swamp song thing in. That was good. I had to get my joke in.
Final thoughts, Brandon. What do you got?
Let me see. I'm scrolling through my notes to see if there's anything that I haven't said. Manchester City is fucking stupid. Said that. What? No, they are.
You don't need to talk about football anymore. Keep going.
I'm just checking that. I'm just making sure that I said that. That's all I'm saying.
You did.
Oh, okay. Here's a final. My final thought, and this, by the way, has spoilers for the TV show Succession. So if at any point in your life you want to watch Succession and you haven't, don't skip ahead from what I'm about to say.
Oh my God.
But you have,
You're
right?
going to ruin Succession for our... Yes, I love it.
I know. No, I'm giving I could not give a more clear spoiler warning. Please, Nate, this is how you're supposed to do it.
I know, but you're going to...
I'm telling you, skip ahead. Don't listen to this.
Okay. To end the show right now. Stop listening. You don't need it. You know what we're going to say. Patreon, Black Market Dub, whatever. Okay. Brandon, go ahead and spoil one of the greatest TV shows ever. Go ahead. Let's go. Spoil Succession now. Forever on the internet now.
Dude,
for everyone who ever listens to
this show ended years ago.
I don't care.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
I am being very respectful and giving fair warning.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm doing nothing
do
wrong.
It. Go. Okay.
Oh my God.
Spoil Succession.
Do you see how Nate is the Darth Vader? Jesus. Okay. All right. Here's my question to you, Nate.
Okay.
So do you know what prompted Oasis to break up in 2009?
No idea.
There was a conversation when they were in Barcelona. There was an argument and a fight, and Liam called the legitimacy of Noel's daughter into question.
Whoa, that's fucked up.
Suggesting that Noel is not the father.
Whoa.
And that was the fucking straw that broke the camel's back for Noel. That is what caused Noel to leave the band in the middle of a tour, and they never were together again until this reunion tour.
Wow.
So my question is that, since now you and I are now 20, 30 years later joining the rest of society and getting plugged into the saga of Oasis like everyone else is that the inspiration for that fight in the boardroom in the last episode of Succession where fucking Roman says that to Kendall?
Right.
When Kendall is trying to convince Siobhan to change her vote back.
Right.
And Roman says the thing, it calls the legitimacy of his children in question, and he just starts fucking punching him.
That's like the last episode, right?
Isn't that the final episode? It's the end of the last episode.
Whoa.
And that is the moment where like it is over past that point. It's finally, after 4 seasons of them about to break, it's finally broken.
Yeah. Who knows? It wouldn't surprise me.
I was like, dude, I wonder if that is like an homage to that, or like a reference to that, or inspired by that or something. Like, what could finally break the family that is used to just hating each other and never breaking? What could finally do it?
I can tell you from experience of having contentious relationships with siblings where people say stuff.
Something that you and I both know a lot about.
Yeah. Where someone says something and you're kind of just like, I'm good, man. I'm not even going to yell. I'm not mad anymore. I'm beyond. I'm done. I'm done and goodbye. Like, I'm not talking to you anymore. Like, been there. Not surprised at all either way that Liam would have said that, because that's something a brother could say. It's something that you're like, maybe, who knows, but like, it's something that a brother would say to try to really get under the brother's, your other brother's skin. And it doesn't surprise me either that Noel would just be like, okay, fuck you then.
That is what finally did it.
Yeah. Oh my God. That would do it for me.
The things.
That would do it for me. I mean, I don't have kids, but like, I can imagine that would do it for a lot of people. You know, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to sit here and like fucking do this thing with you and help people heap praise on you while you're saying some heinous shit about me. Like, fuck you, dude. And guess what? Good luck without me, by the way, since I write all your songs and you don't do anything. Like, you're just the pretty face of the band, and I literally am the entire substance of all of our music.
You ever heard of the band BDI?
Nope.
Exactly.
Nope. Never have.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So that's my final thought.
Yikes.
Okay, everybody, you can come back in the room now. We're done talking about Succession.
Yeah, I guess my my last thought I have on them is just that, like, they you use the term like kind of inevitability of them, and I agree that there seems to be lots of weird kind of fated things surrounding this band where they just were. It was supposed to happen the way it happened. No, Liam was supposed to get hit in the skull with a hammer, and he was supposed to become a gigantic rock singer. And like, it's just like the way that they have taken up the mantle of like this kind of British iconography and music style is like, it's really cool. And like, despite the fact that I kind of feel I'm a little this on Oasis as a whole, I like them way more than I used to now that we've done this experiment of checking them out. And like overall, like when I see clips of them playing live, I'm just like, I'm so glad that they are playing together.
Yes.
Because we are in such short supply right now of bands like them, where it's like the point is to be a band and to play rock, and the point of the show is our fucking songs, and you come and it's a cathartic thing and it's a communal thing, and we're all here and we're just singing the songs we love, and it's fucking 4 guys, 5 guys playing instruments. So much of what music is now is like this like 18 semi trucks of fucking special effects and fucking streamers and balloons and fucking all these costume changes and all this shit. It's become everything is Madonna now. Everything has to be fucking like a Madonna-esque, Lady Gaga-esque, Beyonce, like gigantic production. And it's like, dude, like, it's like that meme from that show Invincible that I don't watch, but it's like, look at what they have to do to replicate a fraction of our power. It's like, dude, I guarantee you seeing Oasis right now is as powerful and as moving and as fun, even if you're not even a fan, as fucking like the biggest, Kendrick, Beyonce, fucking, Harry Styles, whoever, Taylor Swift show that has way more pizzazz and way more production and way more this, way more that. Like, at the end of the day, like, the Oasis show, it's a rock and roll show. Like, it's like this primal, like, elemental fucking music experience that goes back to like the 50s, right? And they're doing it in a really old school way that's really fucking cool. And it's like, you don't really see that anymore. Like, it's going away. It's going the way of the fucking dodo. So like, I'm just glad they're doing it. Like, I really am.
And it's so good, and it comes across, and it feels so good. And I can tell by the way that you and others describe the feeling of seeing just even the video clips of it. And I've seen them too. Like, it comes across.
It does, man.
And live music performances so rarely translate to reels and TikToks and clips. It's so rare. But I've seen the show and I've seen the reels, and it does come across. You can feel it. Like, it translates. And it's this reunion, and it's such a part of the zeitgeist right now. And it's such a part, it's one of the biggest things that is like so right with the world right now.
Big time.
And I really hope that, and I know that in the future, like, 2025 in many ways is going to be talked about as a year with a lot of problems and a lot of negatives and a lot of, as in a context of a dark time. But I hope that people will remember to include and to mention that this was happening too. This was the year when like Oasis gave that feeling to the world.
Right.
And they fucking toured around the world with it.
And they fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of bands that have, I was going to say been together too long, but that's never going to be true with me and Brandon and Black Market Dub. You can get our music at blackmarketdub.bandcamp.com. You can also get a blog and a bunch of other exclusive shit, communiques, bonus episodes, which we're about to record. Me and Brandon are about to record a bonus episode covering the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, One Battle After Another. That we are both so obsessed with
of 2025.
Yeah. I can feel us both just itching to get this conversation about Oasis over so we can have the real conversation we want to have, which is about Paul Thomas Anderson and our new favorite movie. So we're about to record the bonus episode for that. You can get that at patreon.com/blackmarketdub. We have a bunch of vinyl you can buy on Bandcamp, and other vinyl you can get at escapehatchrecords.com. Also give Escape Hatch Records a follow on Instagram. Follow Wise Owl on Instagram. Don't follow me on Instagram, by the way.
Yeah, don't.
I only post pictures of my dog, so it's not very interesting anyway. And Brandon, should we announce what we're doing next on the show? Do you know?
Yeah,
do you have your next pick?
Yeah. Last episode we forgot to do that, and there's a new part of our show. We want to start saying what we're going to talk about next. Okay, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited to take you into this zone. So I've been looking at what styles of music have we not dove into yet.
Hard bop.
So jazz is one of them, and I don't think I'm probably never going to pick a jazz album for this show, maybe.
We're going to have a guest hold our hand and walk us through a jazz album.
I just really don't give a fuck about jazz. But hey, that at some point in time, I may get that feeling, and that may be the exact reason why I pick one, but it's not this time.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was between, I almost picked a black metal album.
Oh my God. That's exciting. Wow. Okay.
But I didn't.
Okay, you did.
We're going country.
Oh, let's go. All right. Fuck yeah. What do we
do?
I'm scared
album. Now. We're going to do the album Long Haired Redneck.
Okay.
By David Allan Coe.
Oh my God. Are you fucking serious? We're doing David Allan Coe.
Yes.
All right.
David Allan
We're not going to explain it right now, but if you knew who David Allan Coe was, you would understand my reaction to that pick.
One of the greatest songwriters in the history of country music.
Exactly. That's why I reacted that way. Also, just extremely controversial person. So it'll be fun.
That controversial? I mean, like he is.
He's pretty controversial, I think.
And we will get into it on our next installment of the Playbacks. On the next episode of Playback.
Yeah. Anyway, Brandon, do you have any closing lyrics? Some closing Noels?
Yes, I do. Some Noels as sung by the Liams. Nobody ever seems to remember. Life is a game we play.
Life.
Goodbye.
Life. Life.
A few small views.